What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen ifşa oldun.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum. Hi, I am Edip, May 2nd, 2019. Today I would like to introduce you to Hamza Tzortzis. I just uploaded, didn't share it because I had it as a clip. It was shared in Twitter, and in order to be able to show it here on the TV, I upload to my YouTube channel. Please go subscribe, and English videos you will have parenthesis E inside. Therefore, if you put my name, Edip Yuksel, and space, and then parenthesis inside the parenthesis with that space, if you write E, you will find all my English videos. And also I try to make a playlist. I need to update it, but also I have many videos on English playlist. And unfortunately, I started as in English, Turkish. They are mixed. Now, let's listen to this gentleman. I call him gentleman, but unfortunately, he has great potential to become ISIS. His ideology and religious, unfortunately, Sunni religion, has nothing to do with Islam. It has a lot to do with ISIS, which I argue here. Edip Yuksel E in this video. If you go in my channel, if you write these ones, you will find that ISIS, ISIS, follows Sunni religion. Absolutely. I was a Sunni scholar. My father was the greatest scholar, Sunni scholar in Turkey, Kadircan Yuksel. I wrote books promoting Sunni religion and theocratic revolution in Turkey. I was together with Tayyip Erdogan, Ahmet Davutoğlu, all these right now dictators in Turkey, the same party. We were together trying to kind of make revolution. Thank God I parted my ways from them long time ago, since 1986. July 1st, 1986, I decided to dedicate myself to God alone, not God plus Muhammad, plus Sahaba, plus Tabi'in, plus this alim or that alim, this shaitan, Sheikhul Shaitan, I call them, they call them Sheikhul Islam. Anyway, I follow the Quran alone, which is very different. My translation, Quran, a reformist translation, I highly recommend it, and it is available as a PDF for free. I need to update that PDF, which is available, because there are some other corrections. It is a continual job, because the English needs to be improved, and sometimes I discover some of the errors because of my Sunni background. But it is a very different translation. Put all the Sunni translation at one side and this translation. Rashid Khalifa's translation is beautiful, but this is also improvement on that because there are some errors in that translation throughout years discovered. Now, and I make an argument. If I make a different translation, an important issue, a key issue, I discuss it in the endnotes. And in the beginning of the translation, I have lengthy introduction, making a case why my translation is better than all the English translations combined. I have a comparison table, compare them, and make an argument. You don't need to know Arabic to appreciate that exposition. It requires only using your mind, God-given mind, and with good intention, trying to find the truth. Now, this gentleman, I called him by accident. He might be a good person, but it takes religion or ideology, dogma, to turn good people to bad people. And a lot of people who joined ISIS, they were young, good, nice people, but it's like a virus. It transformed them to barbarians. And the religion that he's promoting is a barbarian religion, stoning to death, imagine, chopping the heads of people they think that left their religion, is like mafia, invading other countries, supposedly they are promoting God's word, killing people, invading, grabbing their lands, and imposing tax on them. What kind of thing? Burglars, robbers, killers, murderers, and in the name of God, like Christians did for centuries. And still they are doing right now. They use proxy national system, capitalist, imperialist countries. They are behind. They are not doing, they are not leading crusades, but through their votes and money, lobbies, they support military-industrial complex and the invasions and all the bloody wars. Look at this. No difference. Religious people all around the world, the more religious they are, the worse they become. This is the rule. The more religious, the worse they become. Less morality, less care about human rights. They become pharaohs. They worship the one little bit above them, who have little power. They worship, they become slaves to the one has little power over them. They become also pharaohs to those who are a little bit below them. Let's say their fathers. If they get muscle power, financial power, they are tyrants against their women, usually the case, if they are religious, against their children. Very strict. They are consider them as his servants or even slaves. But the same person who is so arrogant, who is so oppressive and repressive, and that person become like a sheep to one who is upper than. They absolutely schizophrenic personalities. All Middle East countries, even Eastern countries, there's some incredible sick culture out there. Schizophrenic personality. And you see someone is poor. Oh my gosh. He's poor until he gets a little bit power. The more power they get, the worse they become. Look, Tayyip Erdogan. In the past, he was talking about rights, freedoms, and stuff. Correct? Human rights, democracy. About 17 years ago. But when he got in power, when he solidified his power, he is now a tyrant. The biggest thief, perhaps, broke all the records of the theft. He made the biggest mansion for himself. 1,150 rooms in just one mansion palace in Ankara alone. He called it Aksaray. A poor country, some people are going hungry. They're standing in long lines to find a little bit discounted onion and potato. And the country right now in big debt because they fooled people. They borrowed a lot of money, created a fake prosperity and stuff, all based on borrowed money, and they stole their money, those monies through construction. Everywhere they basically, I'm sorry, I use a bad word which I don't use normally, I'm a Puritan, but they pooped concrete everywhere. Turkey is in the list of 104th countries in the list of conservation of the planet. No greenery in Istanbul. Any piece of land they found, they turn it to big skyscraper in order to make money. Their friends and government contracts. And he's now the richest person in Turkey. His kids, his son-in-law, they are now the governor. His son-in-law is the head of the treasury. His son, anyway, this is a long story, but corruption. And this guy, if he gets power, he's no more different than ISIS or Tayyip Erdogan, tyrants. Let's see. Come on. Okay. Oh, I am perhaps not directed to the right place. This must be. Okay. Let's see. He's attacking Atatürk.
I'm not going to mention any names, that wanted to destroy Islam in this country. It's simple as that.
Pay attention. Islam.
If you read your own history, this...
He's talking about Atatürk.
And others wanted to destroy Islam in your country.
Who destroyed tyranny, pharaohs, Ottoman dictators,
Haqq is haqq.
imperials.
At the end of the day, there was a campaign to destroy your deen. Take away your hijab, ban the aban, change the Arabic language, destroy Islamic education. Is this a friend of Allah or a friend of shaitan? You make your mind up. I'm not going to give you the answer. If someone bans the adhan, tells people they must be more secular, takes away the hudud of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, takes away the sharia, takes away hijab, takes away Arabic language, throws the Quran and Imam, is this someone a friend of Allah or a friend of shaitan? Who is he? Friend of? I didn't say it.
Okay. Now, so many lies, so many distortions in just 1 minute. And meanwhile, here it is, a Turkish one. I hope that it was translated into English. Osmanlı İslam Devleti miydi? 600 yıllık yalan. Was the Ottoman Empire a... This is a little monkey I have there. I use as an eraser. Haha. Anyway, I compared what the Ottoman Empire did to Islam to the Quran. And they had nothing to do with Islam. Had nothing to do. Islam, for example, according to the Quran, the only source of Islam, not Hadith, not Sunni, those fabricated books centuries after Muhammad, or not sectarian jurisprudence fabricated later, made up, full of contradictions, full of insult to Prophet Muhammad, full of lies, like Beni Qurayza massacre, like Muhammad was illiterate, big lie, or like women are the worst, most of the hell will be filled with women, or if the donkey, a dog, and a pig, and a woman passes in front of the prayer is nullified. The women must cover their face according to 3.5 sects, Sunni sects. Sunni is a religion because it has different books than the Quran. This is the definition of religion. If you have different holy sources, you are a different religion. And the number of their books and authenticity is a mess. They call it the science of hadith, the science of classifying usulul hadith. Fancy words, you think they know a lot. It is nonsense because I studied, I promoted that for a while. I teach them, I taught them. I can teach Sunni religion to their scholars, but it's full of lies. Hadith has 31 classifications. From mawzu means purely fabricated to mutawatir. Mutawatir means you cannot doubt because so many people narrated it. There are 31 categories of lies. And their expertise is to discuss which one belongs to which category. Categorization of lies, the factory of lies. Anyway, and the most authentic hadith supposedly is Bukhari, was fabricated, was gathered 230 years after Prophet Muhammad. 230 is just count how long it is. Generations after generation, hearsay, all sorts of lies. And I have this one on it exposing that one. There is a beautiful table comparison between Sunni Shiite religions versus Islam. Islam is peacemaking, by the way. Even the meaning of it, they distorted. And I highly recommend you. Again, this is a PDF available, as a book also at Amazon available. And also this one. I am right now will be talking about this guy's claim about Ottoman and Atatürk. Atatürk was a great guy. Mostly he did great stuff, fantastic stuff. Thank God. But unfortunately, they want to take it back to the days of ignorance and oppression. And this is... I highly recommend. This is very important. I know majority of people hate this number. They escape like zebras. And I have few arguments, a book, not few, argument with those zebras, with the exception of Carl Sagan. His name should not be there, but by accident we put there because there is a beautiful argument with Carl Sagan. He is the exception there, but And here it is. I know this number will bother the hypocrites and the ingrates, the polytheists who cannot accept God without Muhammad or without Jesus, who idolize Jesus, Muhammad, or this or that. Anyway, now let's go to Ottoman Empire. First of all, according to the Quran, وَأَمْرُهُمْ شُورَ بَيْنَهُمْ, I read in Arabic so that those Sunnis and Salafis will not fool you, and you will be able to find it there. You say, here is this, which verse is this? Their affair, the affairs of Muslims, peacemakers, is shura, based on consultation. Well, the Ottoman empires, they were self-appointed tyrants. They say, my father was this big sultan. I am the son of him, and I am the biggest son, therefore I have the right. Because of their blood, which is against the Quran. And the Quran says, there is no, you are all children of Adam, your tribes, your whatever, your nation, your race, or your your gender, be male or female, is not a factor in your betterness. It doesn't make you better than the other. And inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, the one who is more honorable at your Lord are those who are the righteous one, who do good deeds, who do not cheat people, who do not lie to people, who do not kill people, who do not promote racism or more warmongers, who help people who are in need, the righteousness. Okay, now therefore, first of all, Ottoman violated, betrayed the Quranic principle regarding what? Regarding election. One. And second, وَشَاوِرُهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ tells the leader, first Muhammad and everyone else, you need to consult them in their affairs. Well, this Ottoman emperor, they were just had nightmare, they wake up, they decide to chop the head off their Grand Vizier, their prime minister. And they were murderers, they were paranoid psychopaths. Majority of them killed their brothers, or their fathers, or their children. Paranoid. They thought, well, for example, Fatih Sultan Mehmed, the most glorified one, the conqueror of Istanbul, the tyrant, the imperialist, and that guy, according to their own records, it's not my record, the Ottoman records, they try to defend it, the apologists for Ottoman Empire. He killed, he strangled his brother who is in crib, a baby brother, because he thought when he grew up, he will take away his power. He worshipped his throne. Goodness sake, how in the world? According to the Quran, killing a human being without justification, the only justification is self-defense. Another potential justification which the Quran really wants to eliminate is if someone murders your relative, a person unjustly, that person may have the capital punishment, but the Quran says qisas, the law of equality, which is distorted by Sunni and Shiite religions. If you look at the reformist translation, it is different. It is to reduce it statistically. And then the Quran tells people to forgive the murderer. It is better. Therefore, try to eliminate the capital punishment. The only way is when you are attacked, when you and your family are attacked by people like ISIS or by anyone who are aggressors. They want to enslave you or whatever, kill you, and against them you can defend. During the defending yourself, you can kill them, but you should not exceed. Whenever they ask for peace, you must go for peace. You establish the peacemaker. And anyway, therefore, these Ottoman empires, they were psychopaths. They killed their brothers, their children, their fathers, for throne, and they invaded countries. They invaded countries. And now they have, this guy, if you ask him, he's against imperialism, American imperialism stuff. But he glorifies Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire was an imperialist. Why they invaded Europe? Why they attack Istanbul? Istanbul was a small city. They didn't have even military to defend themselves. They had big castles. They were just there. Of course, now some of you whose brain is polluted by Sunni fabrications, we say, what about Muhammad killed these many Jews? Big lies. Beni Qurayza's story is a big lie. Anyway, I want you to go check 19.org, and over there you will see articles. And also, I don't have it here. This one, ISIS follows Sunni religion. I highly recommend you to listen to that one if you want, or read the book. Quran Reform Story. Okay, and then Ottoman emperors, what they did. What it says, education, 300 years. What they produce in terms of knowledge, in terms of science, nothing, zilch, zero, صفر. Nothing. Which scientists, what did they invented? In fact, before Ottomans, there was some monotheists, like Ibn Sina, Ibn Rushd, like Ibn Khaldun, or whatever, they were Ibn al-Jazari, al-Haytham. In optics, al-Haytham, al-Jazari, Abu al-Iz, al-Jazari, the founder of cybernetics, robotics. Check it. Al-Khwarizmi invented algebra. Ibn Sina, outstanding in medicine. Ibn Sina, Biruni. Ibn Rushd in philosophy. Ibn Khaldun, the father of sociology. But they're also, not unfortunately, the Western world doesn't also give them enough credit, but it is in reality their inventions and records, in the records. In fact, years, centuries before Darwin, these Muslim scholars, pre-Ottoman Empire, in fact, before even Ghazali, they were promoting evolution. All these, I mentioned their names, including Ikhwan Safa, is a school of thought, and they were even starting life from crystal. Evolution not only compatible, it is God's system of creation. And please check my article, Blind Watchers, watchmakers, blind watchers, an intelligent argument in evolution, intelligent argument in evolution, or smell the cheese. If you check the smell cheese, that's enough, subtitle. And I highly recommend you reading that article. Anyway, there was nothing in terms of science. There are a few things they give, and examples, they are also ridiculous, some of them lies. Like Peter Reis had a map, okay, he traveled, had a map. But even when you study that map, it is basically a combination of many maps existed before Peter Reis. That's all they can see. There was Hazarfan Chelebi, the guys tried to kind of fly, and of course, simple way, put a wing, feathers and stuff, even they killed that guy. The Ottoman Empire did not allow printing machine for 300 years. 300 years! They declared fatwa, it is not, it is haram, it is disrespect to print Arabic through this. They did not allow them. And only few Christians or Jews, they were allowed to have printing machine. But for Muslims, they did not allow. And they killed many, many people. Anything questioned their authority or their oppression, their corruption, they would be killed. Sultan Selim, Yavuz Sultan Selim, went all the way to Egypt to become caliph. Caliph. He's God's shadow on earth. Look at this. Look at the arrogance. And he killed 97,000 people, according to history. 97,000 people were killed because of what? You get khilafat by force, by killing people, by drinking the blood of the people. Bloody caliph. Satan's caliph. Caliph means really representative. It has nothing to do with God's representation, God's forbid. It is mistranslation. It is following, means it following the previous race, the previous species. Adam followed the previous species before Homo erectus, Homo sapiens, there was another species, violent. God created another version which called humans. Adam. Anyway, and talks about what? Arabic. Arabic is not holy language. God sent messengers to many nations in their own language. Arabic is a good language like any other language. All languages, according to the Quran, are God's signs. Chapter 30, verse 30, I think verse 21, 22, check those verses. In the variations of your colors and language, there is signs. But they say, no, Arabic is the language of heaven, and they mistranslate some of the verses of the Quran. For example, there are Quran critical of Arabs, pretty critical of Arabs. Al-Arabu ashaddu kufran wa nifaqa. Arabs are the worst in their ignorance, arrogance, to be ingrate in their ingratness, unappreciation, and in their hypocrisy. The following verse makes some exceptions, but very critical. But they even mistranslate that word. Arab means Arab, singular. Al-Arab means plural, Arab. Turk, Atrak. Turk, Turks. Kurd, Ekrad, Kurds. Plural of Kurds, Ekrad. Plural of Arab, Arab. Arab, Arab. Turk, Atrak. Kurd, Ekrad. Look at it, the same format. But they mistranslate. They say they are Bedouins. Well, there is a verse that says, Al-Arabu fil Budwa. If it means Bedouins, it wouldn't in another verse that it did not need another qualification, Bedouin. It's obvious. Both format and the usage in the Quran, it is Arab. They mistranslate in order to promote Arabic. Oh, the language of the heaven will be Arabic. And there are so many lies they made up in the name of Prophet Muhammad in order to promote this lie. What that? Woman. Heads covering the face of woman is burying them alive. Atatürk ended this system of basically satanic system. Sultanate is Pharaoh, and Caliphate is abusing the name of God, false religion in the name of God. The worst people, according to the Quran, are those who fabricate lies and attribute to God. They will just fabricate lies and the former fabrications, and they will continue fabricate through al-fatwa. Sheikhul Shaitan, they call them Sheikhul Islam, made a fatwa to please the tyrants, the sultans. They came up with even fatwa. It is okay for the state to keep the state. Yes, the battery died, therefore I needed to change. Women. Oh, Atatürk did whatever, freed women. Women was not free during the Ottoman Empire. They were enslaved, covering the face of the women or putting them in black sacks, that is burying them alive. They were deprived from their human rights. According to Quran, men and women are equal. All the verse that I read, chapter 49, 13, and many other verses. But according to them, woman is what? Is man's property. And according to fourth sects, women should cover their faces. Only Hanafi sect of Sunni religion says, well, if woman is beautiful, they should cover their faces. Well, which woman will open their face in such a society if the ugly women consider that they are opening their face? All they are forced, in fact, through religion and stuff, they cover their faces. But predominantly in their books, hadith books and sunnah books, 3.5, let's call it, sects, they say cover their faces. Means burying them alive. I'm okay with women covering their whole body and having that, whatever, çadır, çarşaf in Turkish we call. That's fine. It is their choice. However, though the Quran doesn't even order covering their hair, they over-exaggerate few verses of the Quran regarding women covering themselves. The Quran doesn't order men to force women to do that. It advises women as protection from man to cover their chest, their boobs, in English, boobs, to cover their chest, which could be they could be confused with prostitutes. According to the Quran, you understand, there were some women in Muslim society during the time of Muhammad. Muslim is peacemaking society in Medina, which is multinational, multi-religious, secular, federally secular state. There were some women, they were slaves or prostitutes, they were walking bare chest. And the Quran tells mu'mins means those who trust God based on evidence. Iman means trust based on evidence. Al-hujja al-bayyinah. To cover their chest in order not to be harassed, not to be confused by prostitutes, and should not be harassed. That's it. What else he says? And Atatürk basically ended this. Atatürk, perhaps there are signs that he believed in the Quran, but did not believe in Hadith. But there are some other signs that he was a deist. Of course, if I was that time, I would be deist too, because the religion I know is Sunni. Lies, contradictions, immorality, oppression. And therefore, this gentleman, I challenge him for a debate, but he will escape. On Twitter, I asked him, but he escaped like many. He cannot defend by his attacking Atatürk, who brought Republican system, who tried to free women, who wanted people to get education, which did many good reforms. Therefore, Atatürk was a very good guy, and also his life has incredible prophetic signs, like 19. And here in this book, I have examples. Check that one. It cannot be coincidence. From birth year until his death year, from many events in his life, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk was supported. And Turkey now is going backward. They got resurrected, somehow the zombies, but I think it will change. Right now, the Turkish people learning that Islamists or Sunnis, when they come to power, they become beasts, they become barbarians, thieves, liars, oppressors. There's no freedom in Turkey right now, and I got sued by Tayyip Erdogan, and I got about 38 months prison term because of my Twitter criticism of him. And he is basically the AKP, his party is a gang of thieves, nothing, and full of lies. They were the one, they promoted civil war in Syria together with Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United States, smuggled weapons as psychopaths, and created ISIS later. Yet they helped ISIS, and they killed Kurdish people, unfortunately. In 4 countries, and Turkey, unfortunately, right now we have a fascist regime. And this guy is, I don't know, this talk perhaps was a while ago, but recently came into social media, and very unfortunately in Boğaziçi University, my former university, which I couldn't finish because of the prison. I was 4 years in prison, in Turkish prison. And anyway, I don't want to make this longer, and I highly recommend you to check YouTube channel and also 19.org. Over there at 19.org, if you look at under Edip Yuksel, you will see some videos, not all of them. There are selected videos in English. Please watch them and learn about rational monotheism, which is based on Quran alone. We are all children of Adam. We need to transcend the national borders and fake religions made up by clergymen to divide us. There's only one God, that's it. Muhammad and Jesus, they were all the one who invited people to unite on one God, not to divide. Muhammad is better than Jesus. No, Jesus is better than Muhammad. No, without Muhammad you cannot go to heaven. No, without Jesus. These are big lies. It contradicts with their own teaching. But if you read the Sunni translations, of course, filled with distortions and with lies, with insertions, you will not see God's message there truly. Therefore, I want you to search it. And comparatively, you can read my translation, compare with that translation. If you use your God-given reason, you will find the truth. And also this Hamza, you are my brother, whether you are Sunni or Shiite or Catholic, I consider you my brother, but unfortunately lost his way. I invite you for a debate. If you are an honest person, you should take this challenge and come, let's face-to-face discuss.
Yogurt! Yogurtçu!
Şu dünyadaki en mutlu kişi mutluluk verendir. Şu dünyadaki sevilen kişi sevmeyi bilendir. Şu dünyadaki en güçlü kişi güçlükten gelendir. Şu dünyadaki en bilgin kişi kendini bilendir. Bütün dünya buna inansa, bir inansa, hayat bayram olsa, insanlar el ele tutuşsa, birlik olsa, uzansak sonsuza. Bütün dünya buna inansa, bir inansa, hayat bayram olsa, insanlar el ele tutuşsa, birlik olsa, uzansak sonsuza. Şu dünyadaki en olgun kişi acıya gülendir.
Görüyorum ya.
Şu dünyadaki en soylu kişi insafa
Yavaş,
gelendir.
Feridun. Eğer bir dalı kırarsan
Şu
inan ki
dünyadaki en zengin kişi gönül fethedendir. Şu dünyadaki en üstün kişi insanı sevendir. Bütün dünya